Hello and welcome. Those of you who are regular viewers or subscribers to my channel will notice that I've been away for the past couple of weeks. This is due to me having started a clinical trial for gene therapy for Fabry disease, and this has left me far from feeling myself, lack of energy and just generally feeling like crap. Although I do have the honour of being the first person in Europe to receive the treatment. So for that I do apologise, and I am on the mend and hopefully will be commencing more uploads as time goes on. Now that the boring stuff is over and done with, let's go on to something a bit more interesting. Now, during some of my better periods, I've taken up playing a bit more IL-2 Sturmovik Battle of Stalingrad. Some people would say I'm a bit late to the party on this one, but I've been at the party, I've just not really mingled with anyone. I've had this in my Steam account for, well, since it first came out. But recently there had been a sale, and I sort of took advantage of that by purchasing a few bits and pieces. One of those being the Battle of Bodenplatte. And here I am flying the Tempest Mark V Series 2 from that add-on in multiplayer. A lot of fun, very powerful motor on the end of that, and a great armament as well, and not a bad cockpit. And that 109 there taking a bit of a hammering, eventually had to shoot the wing off for it to actually fall. Another plane in that add-on being the ME-262A. Not everything goes to plan, as you'll see in this section of the video. I did spend a lot of time under the Silk. Might as well change my call sign to Silkworm. Yeah, so the Jumos on this 262, if you're a bit too violent with it, can flame out, which is always a nice surprise when you're trying to dodge in multiplayer and all of a sudden your engines just shut down. So there's quite a lot of detail in this simulator. I've just never really appreciated it until recently, so it's fun to find these things out. And again, here I am just trying to get my bearings and trying to figure out the aircraft, and concentrating too hard in the cockpit and not taking in my surroundings. So this will obviously be put down to pilot error, and was shot down. Bailing out can be a bit of a pain in this aircraft as well, because if you're going a bit too quick he won't jump out. So I'm pulling the nose up here to try and slow the plane down. He finally bails out, and then the aircraft does what it does best. Engines flame out and heads towards terra firma. And here I am successfully shooting one down with my convergence at 300 meters. I tend to start with to set my convergence for far out, and then try and bring it closer and closer as I get used to the simulator. From the gunnery, air-to-air gunnery side of things, from what I've read in fighter combat, you're supposed to get close. When you think you can't get any closer, get closer, then fire your guns. At the moment I'm just not good enough for that, so my convergence is set to quite far out so I can shoot from a distance, and at this time it pays off. and another one here with a convergence set at 300 meters. So just getting used to where the guns are. Fire just in front, boom boom boom, and down it goes. Lovely, lovely. So yeah, getting the hang of the 262, but in a World War II simulator, used to power being there when you want it with a prop. It's a totally different ball game when it comes to the 262. So quite a big difference in flying tactics there. Also, during the sale I purchased the collector plane of the P-38J. Now, having flown this in Microsoft Flight Simulator and then going to this, totally different. It's not high fidelity, so everything's done by key bindings. All the aircraft in this simulator is like that, so you've got to get used to that. And also, it just flies totally different. I'm not using that as an excuse for my shoot down, by the way. I'm just awful in a dogfight. But yeah, I thought I'd get P-38 just to see what it was like with the armament live. And my last purchase in the sale was Flying Circus Volume 1. Been after a World War One dogfight simulator for quite a while, and I've been wanting this for a while, but I refused to pay £60 for it. So that when the sale was on, it was half price, so it was a no-brainer really, and it's worth every penny. It's absolutely brilliant. Obviously you've got to change your style of flying and fighting, but then again that's why we fly these things, for the challenge. Going from BVR and radars to an old piston engine and some machine guns and some fabric and wood, it really does show in this simulator, and it is a challenge, a real challenge, even if it's against AI. It's just a completely different style of play to get used to, and you're stepping down from World War II to start with, simply because obviously it's IL-2 Sturmovik, but then to take it that one step further, to go back to where it all began, where the rules of dogfighting and tactics were first perceived. That just takes it that one step further. You need to get used to how the plane handles, how to shoot at these types of aircraft, because obviously the fabric and wood, the bullets just go straight through. So one of the main tactics is to hit the fleshy part, obviously the pilot, and even that's difficult to do. And they're so manoeuvrable. Easy to stall, but they're so manoeuvrable. The tight turns. It's an awesome change from breaking the sound barrier and firing missiles. So I'm really pleased with this purchase. And here I am on multiplayer using the Flying Circus Volume 1, and unless your quarry is in a merge with you, it can take a while to engage, and that's another thing you've got to get used to. If you're taking off from an airfield and trying to get to the dogfight, you've got to understand that these things just aren't built for speed. And yeah, once you get there, you need to give it all you can, because it's a long way back. And as you can see, I tried to pull off a stall turn, getting a spin, unrecoverable, boom. Now I've yet to successfully survive a round in multiplayer. It's just so different to what I'm used to. that, as you can see here, this guy pulls off a fantastic manoeuvre. Both go into a stall, both pull out, but he manages to keep it right behind me, and unfortunately I can't shake him off, and that's when I, well, fall to bits. He shoots my wings off and down I go. And obviously, being World War One, no parachutes, your death is imminent. So I thought I would end with this one, as it's quite poignant for this time of the year. World War One being where remembrance really sort of started, before remembering everybody who had fallen during every war since then. So yeah, that's a big factor as well, just to try and experience what those guys went through back then, and the terrible fate that a lot of them came to. But yeah, if you're after a decent World War One simulator, Flying Circus Volume 1 is definitely worth every penny, if you can get it in the sale, and Volume 2 is on its way as well, so that should be fun. So if you got this far, thank you for watching, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.